Beauty and harmony are the most prominent characteristics of Pienza, the ideal city, a dream that became reality, a perfect balance between space, volume, and elegance. A harmony, the fruit of the deep passion of Pope Pius II, who created Pienza, but also of its citizens who have preserved this city untouched over the centuries. A balance not only of the urban center, but also of the surrounding countryside, the Val d'Orcia, with its historical and artistic beauty, the chromatic splendor of its fields, its country roads, and of course, its iconic cypress trees. We will let this natural wonder speak for itself, limiting the commentary and leaving you, the viewer, to enjoy the spectacle. Leaving the town via the Porta al Ciglio, we find ourselves on one of the loveliest country roads in Tuscany, straddling the valley between Pienza and the beautiful village of Montichielo, a short 7 kilometers away. From the road called Schiaccione, or Lucignanello, taken from the names of the poderi, or farms that surround it, Pienza appears smaller and more like a fortification, but its charm continues to draw the eye. From the same observation point, one could admire the Val d'Orcia, but also the crete of the Lati di Luna and those of Stagni and Schiaccione. Continuing past the historic podere of Lucinanello, the road begins to descend, eventually flattening out before a steep climb towards the enchanting village of Montichielo, a medieval hamlet of rare beauty. Montichielo is a medieval settlement of rare beauty. As part of the Republic of Siena, it became an important bulwark of defense, most notably against the troops of Charles V in the 16th century. Leaving Montichielo and continuing along the road lined with magnificent cypress trees, you come to the town of Pianoia. Then, once again, traveling along a small road, we go through woods, badlands, and by cultivated fields, you eventually arrive at Castelluccio La Foce. It's also possible to reach the same destination by taking a route through the always enchanting countryside of the Val d'Orcia. Castelluccio is a fortified grange that was part of territory of Montichielo and then of the Republic of Siena. It also belonged to and provided grain for the Hospital of Santa Maria della Scala in Siena. It is currently owned by the Arrigo family, whose most prominent member is the writer Iris Arrigo. The Villa of La Foce was built at the end of the 15th century as a hostel for pilgrims and merchants. In 1924, it was acquired by the Arrigo family, who transformed it into a thriving farm. Its famous gardens, designed in the 1930s by Iris Arrigo and English architect Cecil Pinsent, are a superb example of the harmony that can exist between people and nature. The area of Castelluccio La Foce invites you to let your attention wander to the surrounding countryside, in particular to the nature reserve of Lucciola Bella, where your eyes are drawn to the winding roads and pristine valleys. Nostalgia is a feeling that inevitably prevails in those who leave this area, but the visitor soon finds consolation in the rest of the Val d'Orcia, bleaker but equally engaging. Let us venture into this sea of color. In the center of the valley emerges the view of a castle, that of Spedoletto, a fortified structure built in the 12th century, a place of welcome for travelers along the Via Francigena, a walking path pilgrims often took to Rome. Like Castelluccia, Spedoletto once belonged to the Hospital of Santa Maria della Scala in Siena. This route is recommended for those who wish to visit places along what the locals call the road to Costellati. Arriving at the provincial road, you can admire the magnificent badlands of the Casa Atuoma, a natural environment ideal for sheep farming. From the Badlands of Casa Atuoma, following the course of the Tuoma, the river that gives its name to the rural houses in the area, the visitor's gaze is drawn towards the magnificent Benedictine monastery of Sant'Anna in Camprena, which you can also reach directly from Pienza by taking the road to Castelmuzio. The monastery, originally a hermitage, was transformed into an abbey at the beginning of the 14th century by monks from the nearby Monte Oliveto Maggiore. The church, dedicated to Sant'Anna, was completed in 1517. The complex includes a refectory decorated with frescoes by Giovanni Antonio Bazzi, known as Sodoma. If you turn left along the road to Castelmuzio, just before reaching the monastery of Sant'Anna, you will come to the lovely villa of Cassona. Already a village and castle before the year 1000, in medieval times it was owned by the Sienese family of Ptolemy, then King Ferdinand of Aragon. It was purchased in 1495 as a fortified palace by Cardinal Niccolò Fortegueri, and since then it has belonged to the same family. Today it is used in part as an agriturismo, or a working farm with accommodation. A short distance from the monastery of Sant'Anna in Camprena is the complex of Palazzo Massaini, reachable on foot by taking charming country roads, or from Pienza taking the direction toward Montepulciano. The castle we see today was rebuilt in the 16th century by the Massaini family, in the same location as a fortified structure that originally belonged to the Cacciaconti lords of Montisi, and is currently a flourishing farm with accommodation facilities. Pienza, viewed from the Valdorcia, is beautiful in every season. We also recommend a stop at the Church of San Vito e Modesto in Rutigliano, called La Pieve di Corsignano, a Romanesque church of early Christian origin where Pope Pius II was baptized. Pienza captures your soul at first glance when you step inside the walls of the city. The walk along the walls is enchanting, as are the small streets that take you into the center and the main piazza. When you enter the heart of the historic center, the Piazza Pius II, you understand the concept of the ideal city of the Renaissance and its perfect harmony of urban spaces. Visiting Pienza and the surrounding countryside is an experience that leaves its mark on all of us, not only for its cultural and historical importance, but also for the sense of well-being and peace that it engenders.